Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'd like to show you how I make one of my favorite raw vegan salads. This year I decided to set a goal for myself to be raw vegan 1 meal per day. I don't think that everybody needs to be vegan, but I think that if we all did something like that and had a lot more plant-based foods in our diet, all of us would be a lot healthier. And I try to advocate that for my patients especially. I have some patients that, I had one who just came to me and telling me how they were eating lots of pork rind and sausage and hot dogs and bratwurst, which is very low carb, but it's also high in carcinogenic foods, which can be a problem for health. So finding some balance and getting these anti-cancer rich foods in our diet is really important. This particular cabbage apple salad that I'm going to be preparing today is wonderful for anyone who has breast cancer or who wants to prevent breast cancer. I went through breast cancer 3 years ago, and I was doing a lot of things in my diet that I had no idea were putting me at risk. For one thing, I was having dairy in my diet. I didn't realize at that time that cows, I didn't even think about the fact that they have so much higher hormones than we do. And they are actually pregnant a lot of the times when they're being milked. So their estrogen levels, their progesterone levels are going to be so much higher than what our needs really are. So instead, I'm wearing my milk. This shirt is actually made out of milk silk. So this salad is really great for anyone with breast cancer or wanting to prevent breast cancer. And it's going to start with some cabbage. So here I've got some beautiful purple cabbage. You can see this, and I love the color of foods. Colors are different frequencies, just like musical notes. It's almost like our food is singing to us with these notes. So I'm going to throw that in here. And I've got some beautiful green cabbage as well. The wonderful thing about cabbage is it has something that we call indole-3 cannabinoids, I think. Anyway, I take a supplement using what we call I3C, which actually comes from plants like cabbage. It actually helps to block too much estrogen. So this is a very beneficial thing for all of us. And of course, everybody knows how wonderful kale is. I've got some beautiful purple leaf and green leaf kale that I'm going to add to my salad. All of this is so good for the digestive tract. And I should say more on the cabbage. If you have digestive problems, especially a stomach ulcer, and you're trying to heal a stomach ulcer, one of the best things that you can do is take cabbage and juice it and drink it on an empty stomach. That has really saved a lot of my patients who've had some good healing from that. Apples. Apples are awesome. Now apples, they have an ingredient in them, ursolic acid, that has been shown to inhibit tumor lines in 4 different tumor line growths. So it's very anti-cancer. I was eating an apple once a day, basically, before I got cancer. But I was eating apples that weren't organic. It's so important to get organic apples. Apples are some of the fruits that have the most pesticides on them, and women with breast cancer tend to have higher pesticide levels in their breast tissue. So make sure you get organic apples. Celery. Celery, surprisingly, has, I think it's androstenone. Anyway, it has almost like a hormone in it. It has anti-estrogenic effects. So this is great to include in my diet. Green onion, all of your onions have sulfur compounds, and these sulfur compounds, they're good for our joints, and they are also good for inhibiting cancer growth too. So I'm going to add some of that in here. You can see already it's just turning into this beautiful thing, but I am going to add some more beautiful colors. the mango. I love it because it has this nice orange. And like I said, when we have different colors, these are different frequencies, different vibrations. They help bring in different nutrients into our bodies, different energy levels into our bodies. And the colors alone, just seeing them, visualizing them, it puts us in a good mood when we eat. It makes us feel joy when we're eating these things. Raspberries. Raspberries and pomegranates, which aren't in season for right now, contain ellagic acid. And ellagic acid also inhibits tumor growth. Great for breast cancer and also good for prostate cancer too. Strawberries have an anthocyanin called pelargonidin. I hope I said that right. There are basically 6 anthocyanins that we know about, and this particular anthocyanin is very rare. We see it in strawberries, we see it in red kidney beans, and rose petals. So if you have a rose bush outside and have some rose petals you can throw on a salad, that's actually very healing for you. But so I'm going to throw some strawberries in here. Now for my other 5 of those anthocyanins, wild blueberries contain the rest of them. So if I add the combination of the strawberries with the wild blueberries, I'm getting it all. And I prefer the wild blueberries rather than the regular cultivars because they do have higher antioxidant absorption capacity. They have, they're just more potent. So that's good. Pineapple. Pineapple is rich in bromelain. Bromelain can be used for joint problems like arthritis, but it also has anti-cancer properties. And what you can actually do with the pineapple if you're going through cancer and you're trying to fight it is when you peel the stems, you take all the leaves off of the pineapple and cut off that little nub. There's a little white little nub that's on the top of the pineapple. You cut that off, and that is the richest part of bromelain in the plant. And if you've got a good, like a Blendtec or a Vitamix blender, and you blend that in some distilled water and maybe just a little bit of the pineapple and drink that on an empty stomach, is very, very potent anti-cancer medicine. So it can be a good part of a healing program for anyone fighting cancer or prevention. So now I've got this awesome thing, and I'm gonna throw in, these are microgreens, nice sprouts from our local farmer's market, just beautiful coloration. And these, when you have these little baby plants like this, these are so rich in nutrients, proteins and amino acids, and are just a wonderful addition to any salad. So basically, I've got this going, and I am not planning on adding any oils or salt to this. Instead, I'm going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice all over it. And the apples I had put lemon juice on them so that they wouldn't turn brown so fast. I'm just going to douse this in wonderful lemon juice. And lemons and limes have limonoids, which are also, again, anti-cancer. So many of our fruits and vegetables are. The more we can get in our diet, that's why they say, try to get, 5 to 7 servings a day. I would rather get closer to 9 to 15 servings. The more the merrier on this stuff. I have so many of my patients that, you ask them when the last time they had a fruit or a vegetable, and, they have to think back to earlier in the week. So if you were to get into a habit like this where you're doing raw vegan 1 meal a day, it forces you to get lots of fruits and vegetables in your diet. Cinnamon, I love my cinnamon. I'm actually gonna do the pour spout here and kind of douse it a little bit. That adds such a nice flavor. It helps slow the release of sugars in your bloodstream. And raw honey, I can never say enough about raw honey. It's so much different than your commercial honey. A lot of people are so afraid of adding any kind of honey to anything because of the sugars. And yet, there are ingredients, enzymes in the raw natural honey that help with glucose control. And I have had diabetics who've reported back to me, my patients, who have said that, yeah, they notice that when they use the raw honey, their sugar doesn't spike like when they use the other. So I know it's a really good beneficial thing. And the bee pollen, I mean, these are ancient medicines that have been around for thousands and thousands of years to give us good healing nutrition. And I like getting right down and dirty, so I'm just going to use my hands and give my food a little love as I mix this all together. Whoa, so I try not to mix it right out of the bowl. I really believe that when we have hands-on touch, it's like our food gets familiar with us. It gets to know us, and it can become more giving to us. I think when we eat food and we're not grateful for it, we're thinking about our finances, we're thinking about what so-and-so said about us, and we're not really paying attention to our food, what we're eating, and what it's doing for us, it can choose to withhold some of the nutrients. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but that's my own personal belief. It's kind of this physics, strange thing that our food can think, that our food can feel, that our food has this kind of energy, and that we can have that kind of a relationship with food. So I'm going to put some on my plate, and because I have this huge salad, I like to add a couple of things at the very end so that I don't have it go bad when it's in the fridge. So I'm gonna just dig in, scoop some on my plate, and it's just so beautiful here, and so many nutrients. And then I'm going to actually slice up some banana and put that on top too. I don't know that banana is particularly beneficial for breast cancer per se, but I love it. And it adds an extra layer of color and pleasure. And I'm all about pleasure with my food. And then I've got some garlic that I've chopped up. With garlic, it's best if you chop it up right before you eat it, before you put it on your food. One of the ingredients, allicin, which is so beneficial as an antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial type of a component. It helps, when you're coming down with a cold, you want more garlic in your diet. But allicin will dissipate into the air. It's in the volatile oils, and you lose that magic, that medicine, if you have it in a jar, or if you cook it all out, or if you cut it up too early. So I like adding this at the end, and it also has some of those sulfur compounds like the onion, which are so beneficial. So here I have it, my delicious salad, and I can't go hungry when I eat like this. People say, when you're having a vegan meal, vegans, you can't ever eat enough, you'll go hungry. Add more fruit, add more of the carbohydrate to it, and you will feel more satisfied. Cabbage is a great thing for your digestive tract. There's so many health benefits to all of these components. Food is medicine, it's healing. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, love yourself, eat real food, and feel free to subscribe, share this information with your loved ones, comment below. Thanks for watching.